Okay, this is just a quick video to show the best fit capability using survey data, and so I'm in a survey file here. See the point data and the linear data and stuff. So I'm going to use a surveyed it's a linear feature that's connecting centerline survey points. So you do need to utilize a linear feature to create the best fit. And so if you don't have a chain for your centerline shots, then you'll need to go ahead and create a survey chain or chain for that. Doesn't necessarily have to be a survey chain, but okay, so I'm going to go into my Project Explorer survey, and currently I have all my points turned on and all my linear features. I'm going to go ahead and turn both of those off, and then I'm going to go into expand my linear features, and I'm going to turn on feature 131, which is my centerline codes. You see there is the terrain model is active. I'm going to go ahead and just turn that off, or turn the level off to that. So now you can see I have a centerline survey chain. It actually came in two data sets, and I just connected it so it was all one. So I'm going to go through the best fit procedure, actually a couple procedures. So in the horizontal geometry, there's a best fit horizontal, and so we'll go ahead and click on that. There's some different modes for creating best fit alignments. There's a make complex element, so that will create complex element going through your survey data. There's make singular element, which will just put in best fit one element in, and then there's complex by edges. And so I'm going to go ahead and we'll talk about the make complex element and the singular for this. So I'm going to arrow down to make complex element. You can see that we have a dialog box but in most cases you don't need to use the dialog box except for like setting a feature name and a feature definition. So I'm going to left click on my make complex element. Then it tells me to locate linear object, and so I'm going to pick on my survey chain, and then it says what is your envelope. So this will be the distance on both sides where it tries to fit that alignment through. In this case, I'll use a half a foot. The rounding for your radiuses, I'm going to use 10 foot. Do I want to include spirals? I'm going to say no, but you could arrow down and click yes. And then enter a default radius. So I'm put in 2000 for the radius, and then accept that with the left click, and you see the red alignment, which is our best fit alignment, show up. So I'll go into element, select that. Here, I'll just zoom in on it first, and you see it's not quite completely following our existing alignment, but it's trying to best fit that. So if we want to determine, how close are we to our survey points, so I'll go ahead and just zoom this out. I'm going to go back into my Project Explorer. I'm going to turn off my centerline chain, and then I'll turn on my features for 131. So looks like I did get a little gap there. So I'll turn on my features for 131. So I'll determine, I can determine how far off for each one of those spots I am. So I'm going to highlight my point feature 131, which will put it in my my details dialog box for my survey details. And, okay, so I did get my survey details dialog box up. So there's my different survey points. If you click on a point, you can see it highlight in here. So So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all my points, and I'm going to right click in the left bar here, and then I will go to selection and create a selection set. And so that will create a selection set from all of those survey points. I'll minimize my dialog here. And then so if I go in and select my horizontal geometry, analysis and reporting, there is a point feature station offset elevation report. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. It says, you can notice my points are still highlighted. It says locate baseline, and then it says data point to accept selected elements. So I have all my survey points selected, and so I'm going to data point to accept those. And then it will go ahead and bring up our XML version of our station offset report. So you can see the points, the features, and then here's the offsets between our center line and the survey points. So you can get a good idea of kind of what the alignment is doing as it goes down through there. So there's the reporting on that. So I'll go ahead and reset out of that, unselect my points. And you know, if it's not quite the report's not quite what you're looking for, I can go to my properties, and I can modify the envelope. I can modify the radius rounding, the you know, spirals, the default label or default radius, and so on. So if I you know, if I don't want to use a 10-foot rounding, you know, if I want to use a 5-foot rounding, I can click on that. You can kind of see it processed and created a new alignment. So I can also come in here and do a hover over it and see my context sensitive menu, and click on reporting, and it will show me the horizontal alignment report. So as we look down through there, there's the first curve, the second curve, so you can see now that the radius in this one is 1015, so it is to the nearest 5 feet. So there's the horizontal alignment report. So, and once we're kind of once we're satisfied with our best fit, then we can come into the convert to horizontal rule, and we'll take that best fit alignment and convert it to a regular civil alignment. And so once I do that, and if I element select it and zoom out a little bit, you'll see the radiuses and such that put in there. Put in quite a few curves in this case. So. And so that's, you know, creating one best fit alignment through our survey. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and then I'm going to talk about a little bit different, using the same best fit tool, but kind of building it as we go. So I'm going to turn off my my survey points and pretty much just get down to my center line alignment. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this alignment. Then I'm going to go in and break it up kind of into tangents and curves, and then go through and kind of best fit components of this. So I'll best fit like the tangents and things like that. So that's kind of another way to kind of just build a best fit just through segments of it. So in this case, I'm going to go up to my field book. I'm going to drag my Project Explorer out a little bit so you can see what I'm doing, so it's not off the screen. So I'm going to go to field book. I'm going to right click, export, and I'm going to export to graphics. And since my center line is the and I'll name it this best fit alignment that I have in there, and overwrite this one. So it'll since the only thing is turned on as my center line in my survey features, that is the only element that will come over into my export to DGN. So I'll go ahead and dock that back on the side. Okay, so now it took us into our best fit alignment, And if I click on that center line alignment, you can see that it's basically just kind of a dumb line string that was created from our center line. You also see our terrain model in here that it did bring over, and that is an actual terrain model. I can turn on my triangles and things like that. So I may or may not need that. I'll just go in and for now I'll just turn the level off by element and just turn it off. So there's our center line, and essentially I'm just going to use the MicroStation break element command, and then come in here and just essentially just take this this alignment, break it up into pieces that I think, and I'm not spending a whole lot of time with this at this point. So you can kind of see I'm just trying to estimate kind of where the points are on the tangent, and trying to establish some of these some tangents and curves and so on. I'm not going to go through this whole alignment, just kind of wanted to give you an idea of what you can do. So go to horizontal geometry, back to our best fit, and so now in this case we are going to use the make single element, and it says locate linear object, and so we will pick on our tangent there, and it will best fit that linear element, or that our survey chain essentially, and will best fit a single tangent through that. So I'll do the same thing, make a single, pick on this tangent section, and same thing like down here. So then at that point we can use our horizontal, our simple arc and things like that, utilizing our tangents. Select my second tangent, and right now I have that radius locked, but I can basically move that radius in and out and try to simulate, or try to get on top of where my curvature is supposed to be. At that point I'm close. Looks like it's 20, 29, 32, 92. So if I want to go in, maybe I just want to call it 20, 29, 30. Round it off, set that radius, and left click to accept it. And then I have trim options, and I will do a trim extend on both. And so that will trim or in this, most likely in this case it's an extending, should be, and trying to fit that in there. And so we'll do the same thing here. Pick my first element, second element. You can see that that one's a little bit different. Hit my end button so I can adjust my radius. Zoom in a little bit and try to kind of best fit onto that curve. So trim and extend. And so as you can see, we're kind of just building a best fit curve or an alignment as we go. So once we get that done, then we can come in and do a complex by elements. Pick on the first segment. It'll highlight all of them, accept it, and so now we have one single alignment. And I didn't get that one. So 1400. So okay, well, hopefully that is helpful. So it's just a couple different ways to create a best fit alignment from survey data.